Hey everyone, it's Teddy, aka James Casal in MTGO, coming back to play some more Grixis Control. Last week I threw up a trophy video, which was a lot of fun, and I've just made a couple subtle tweaks to the list here. I'm down to 3 frogs, maybe it was 3 frogs in that video too, actually. Yeah, it was. Um, and then I'm also foregoing a 4-drop slot just because Planeswalkers are very difficult to defend right now. Um, I'm also back on Nile Spellbomb because I've been trying Vexing Bauble as a way to fight scams, so I've like replaced Nile Spellbomb with it, and it's kind of like half dozen of one, six of the other. I can't really tell which is more effective, but I have a feeling it's Nile Spellbomb, so I'm gonna go back on that for a minute and see how it feels, and then I'm also gonna play one Force of Negation on the side, which is a card I haven't played in it feels like over 2 years. I feel like 4 forces has been plenty for this deck that is kind of a reluctant Force of Will deck, um, since we're barely scraping by with card advantage. But there's a lot of turn one going on right now with Necro Dominance, as you saw in the last video. So it's cool to just respect that. And there are other matchups where it's kind of nice to have a fifth force as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's get in there. And I just wanted to throw in a little reminder, please like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to see more stuff like this, consider checking out the Patreon. Just lowered the pledge to $2 a month. And yeah, I'm trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers. We're pretty far off. I'm only closing in on 500 right now, but gotta start somewhere once in my life. If I knew I just really wanted to guarantee a Narset on turn 3, I might play Waterlogged Teachings out on turn 1, but I know nothing about the matchup. And like I said, it's very possible we'll just draw a lot of lands and then we'll be wishing this was a spell. You never really know with Grixis Control, which is why I like the deck, but you gotta be ready for a lot of different scenarios. Opponent has Verdant Catacombs and Watery Grave. This could be Death's Shadow. Grief pitching Stalactite Stalker. Huh. They must have Reanimate then, because Stalactite Stalker goes pretty nicely with Grief. Oh, they want to reanimate my Psychic Frog? It's true this card is really good against Bowmasters. I think the upside of this resolving is high. But, you know, if we get dazed, we sure do. Ugh. Great. Well, it seems like they want to get this game over with quickly. Either that or they just have an overabundance of resources. Kolaghan's command. Alright, well, it's not really going the way we planned it. They didn't play a land drop yet. Do they just have another daze? They have a brainstorm, which could find them in other days. It resolves. I know better than to go after this thing. Oh, they're letting me block? That's wild. Insane. I can't believe they let me block. Force of will. Play Narset. Activate. I think Lightning Bolt's going to be too bad. Let's take Brainstorm. Hopefully top deck a land. And definitely not blocking with Bowmasters, so I'm going to attack here. They want to dump a card into Frog so they can draw and take out Narset. Sure. And also at this point, I'm pretty afraid of getting my Force of Will dazed. So no matter like how fucked up a spell they cast this turn, I might not Force of Will. The Black Gate, this is definitely a Death Shadow deck. This is not Underground Sea number 5. Yep. Something almost just happened. I guess they drew Bowmasters. I'll Force a Will that. It works. Cycling Street Wraith. What's their game here? Do they have a Death's Shadow? I guess not. They really weren't in that bad shape. I felt like I was about to lose, in fact. Vexing Bobble's really good at leveling the playing field here. Especially since I love siding out Force of Will against Death Shadow. Even though on the draw it's kind of irresponsible. Surgical Extraction, Fatal Push. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the blue-black scam decks don't have Shadow. They just have a lot of cards that overlap with Shadow. But when I saw the Black Gate, I'm pretty sure this is a Death Shadow deck. Red Blast, and they might have their own frogs. In fact, I'd be surprised if they didn't. They'll also probably play with Blue Blast. It's kind of the best spell that just straight blue-black decks have post side. In terms of like how powerful the thing it does is. Obviously a very narrow card. What else? It does feel weird to have the Slorian revealed again. Like, don't we just have better options now? Nimble Destructionist is not at its best here. And I feel like with all these new evasive creatures, it might be hard to leverage Narset as well. One more cut. I suppose it could be Nile Spellbomb. I don't think this is like Riscaminator, but if they show me like an Entomb package, I'm gonna like bring that back along with another Surgical. His hand seems pretty good. It's got anti-reanimate technology. It's got anti-frog technology. A little soft to a stalker, though. And that's the one they got. Well, I think there are ways out of this. There's Psychic Frog, which should be able to erase Stalker, but I also need to not get dazed. Okay. Why not just like, I don't know what's in this deck. It could have Stifle. I don't know what's going on. Likely a Bowmaster. I can't wait forever. Like, this thing's dealing a lot of damage. Street Wraith, sure. Are they going to reanimate? Do you mean to reanimate Street Wraith? Surely no. I mean, I am sitting like a swamp out. Reanimate Street Wraith used to be a pretty powerful line back in the day. Alright, last chance to find a lightning bolt. Vexing Bauble. It's pretty good. I don't mind it. There's a weird pause there. Like, do they have Force of Will? Do they have Daze? Perhaps we'll never know. Brainstorm's good. I mean, it's scary, but it's permissible. Vexing Bauble will allow my turns to be a lot more mana efficient. Another Stalker. Yeah, the fact that these things have Menace is like pretty bad. I'm really going to need to find some Lightning Bolts or Fatal Push. And Lightning Bolt won't even take this thing out. They haven't given me an option to, or the opportunity to gain 3 life off Cling to Dust yet either. They have not cast Reanimate. Do I just need a cantrip with this Cling to Dust right now? Seems rough. They just shuffled. Yep. Yeah, maybe I don't care about Reanimate so much. Force of Will. Obviously not great when you have a Vexing Bauble. Land is not great either. Cast Brainstorm here. Bowmasters. Brazen Barber can reset one of these. Let's put back Force and Badlands, I think. Play Psychic Frog. It's time to get our own engines going here. Feels like we're a little behind, though. Would have been really nice to Bowmasters that. But it also feels like they likely have their own Bowmasters. Or Death Shadow. Or a Murktide Regent. Yep. Well, definitely gonna have to fight that thing. Oh, and a Death Shadow. Okay. Wow. The aggression is here. So I think I need to bounce that Stalker, Red Blast that thing. Block Death Shadow, I guess, if it's possible. Might not be possible. I have to chuck the rest of my hand. grief. That's not good. Okay. I think the move here is cast Bowmasters. Ping there as a deterrent, because then I can double block with Bowmasters. Put everything in Frog, so they don't get any grief equity. And then I can block Death Shadow this way as well. And then go to 2, I guess. I mean, I'm glad they're attacking. Just need to draw a good card. Have a couple looks at it. Or 3 looks, rather. Whoa, another Stalker? Come on. That's 3 menace threats. So I need to, between Frog, Bobble, and my draw step, I need to hit 3 removal spells. This is absurd. Or what if I hit Lightning Bolt? If I draw a Lightning Bolt at any point, I can just discard 2 cards to Frog and win. Badlands, not it. Brainstorm. Okay. Find me that bolt. There it is. Hell yeah. Really hope I put those back in the right order. Thank God. All right, sweet. I agree, opponent. Welcome back for the second round. We've won another die roll. Kind of amazing. We're up against Yorion, and it really sucks that we probably have to mulligan. I mean, yeah, we definitely have to mulligan. Hopefully they do too. No, of course not. Well, I don't feel like I can leverage Force of Will anymore, so we'll just have to do our best here. No matter what it is, like, it's not good. Death and Taxes is just full of 2-for-1 creatures these days. And, well, they don't have a play. Maybe Cling to Dust can unmulligan us. Or Narset. I could play a Narset next turn if they don't play Thalia. Or I could Bolt Thalia, play Narset. They're not doing anything. They also don't have any black mana up. You could forgive me for being skeptical here. No Archivist of Ogma. Psychic Frog. I'll keep that, I think. Play Soporific Springs. And then cast Narset. And try and get unmulliganed here. We'll probably get Wastelanded next turn. Don't miss, don't miss. Okay. I don't know. Force of Will is kind of antithetical to the whole Operation Unmulligan me. But what if I just have to? And I'm not counting on Psychic Frog being any good against the deck with Swords-Tipped Plowshares. And maybe even March of Otherworldly Light. Oh, they have Philia. I mean, might as well force that. The most humane way to deal with the dog. Just feel too bad otherwise. Why do they have to make art that looks like that? Ooh, Ajani. That's hella sick. It's crazy how Ajani is an inherent 2-for-1. I guess me talking as the Bowmaster's pilot probably sounds very hypocritical. I like that land. Brainstorm. I don't know if I can afford to, though. Well, the thing is, like, this deck doesn't really draw cards. So I definitely have to remove a Ajani first. Other cats. Yeah. Gotta do that. Okay. This is a 2-1. Bowmasterable. What are the odds I need to hold up K command? Next to none. Cast Brainstorm. Alright. I'm curious if they'll go after Narset. But I'm pretty sure Death and Taxes is a deck with just 0 draw card triggers. Another Ajani. Okay, well that's kind of a problem. This thing is generating so much value. I actually hate it. Yeah, they're attacking Narset. That's fine. Better in the yard at this point. I've not played against this card yet. But it looks like when it flips, it just does insane stuff. Retrofitter Foundry, huh? Oh my goodness. This deck is like my worst nightmare, it turns out. I do have Kolaghan's Command. And I need to go after my own graveyard here. Bowmasters would do a lot to stabilize this board. Bolt there. Would have been really nice to not have to mulligan here. Shadow Spear. Okay. Brainstorm. Another K command is pretty nice. Edict might be bad. Guess we'll start working through these cats. I don't really want to. I'd rather have them discard, but we're at 14. Definitely need to get rid of Retrofitter Foundry. Yeah, alright. Shawnee can do some weird stuff on combat steps, it seems like. We just bully you with these Cat Warrior tokens. And it looks like it has a Cataclysm on it. It's -4, which is pretty strong. Cataclysm's a strong spell. Oh, they have Stoneforge Mystic. What's the get? Cauldron Complete. I mean, they're closing in on the requisite mana to cast that too. Feeling just a little behind right now because of the mulligan. Shield's Edict. Alright, I mean, how concerning is Shadow Spear? Not incredibly. Do I want to just get Kaldra out in the open? I don't think so. There's still 2 land drops away from that happening. So why don't I just handle the board here? I'm just going to ignore Shadow Spear. Then hopefully Cling to Dust can outgrind Yorion. Unlikely. I'm definitely not going to concede. They just discarded Kaldra. That's kind of nice, but also scary. Yorion to hand. Land drop. What are we going to do now? Bowmasters. Okay, well, that didn't really line up in the right order. What if I draw Thoughtseize? No. I'm gonna hold on to that. There's a world in which Frog can beat Yorion in combat. Yep. Sure. Cast it. Strix would not be bad here either and would really punish me if I draw Strix land. Oh my god. That sucks. That's so shitty. Oh, what was that? Lorien revealed and drew 3 lands. Control Mage Nightmare scenario. Literal Control Mage Nightmare scenario. Well, at least they're having Death and Taxes Nightmare scenario over there. Turn 8 Aether Vial. This game got weird. They're at 28. Fortunately for them, I like to grind. Now I bet they're regretting ditching that Cauldron Complete. I don't say that with any contempt. Just a game state observation. I don't know. Kolaghan's Command is pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just get rid of the duplicates. Ponder. That's pretty good. I'm going to shuffle that. It's just not impactful enough. There we go. Play Strix. Get a little deeper into the deck. Cast another Ponder. Okay, now we're talking. Snapcaster Mage for emergencies. Otherwise, double Bowmaster should be able to get a lot of their deck. And also clock pretty effectively. Okay, beautiful. That is a really good exchange. Now Frog. If I find a Psychic Frog, it can really ride. Do this now while I have no cards in hand. Mother of Runes. That's pretty good. Unbowmasterable. So I gotta deal with it. I guess I might as well take out their Aether Vial while I'm at it. And I believe in efficiency, so I think I'll also cast Waterlog Teachings. Or no, I should cast Cling to Dust. This is my last recursive spell. I'm only running one Snapcaster these days. Force of Will. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. Okay. I think we're in good shape. Slamming for 6 a turn. That's a 4-turn clock, and I have 2 Force of Wills. So they can't really afford to stumble. Okay. I got you. Okay, it went from a 4 to a 6 turn clock. But it might be a little faster if I use this waterlogged teachings aggressively. Ugh. There we go. And I guess I should cast it sooner rather than later, because 4 mana is a lot. It's just getting another Force good. Can't spend too long on this decision. Sure. Load up on time walks here. Cast Psychic Frog. Draw your whole deck. Normal stuff. Discard any land you find. Counter any spell they cast. This does not change the clock. If I can finish this game with 15 minutes on my clock. Oh no. Yeah, about that. Cavernous Souls, huh? It's not over till it's over. Don't think I'm gonna hit my wish. Brazen Borrower. Hold on. Yeah. Cool. Why do I feel like I have to play so fast and brutally? I don't know where the time is going, frankly. Usually, like, I feel like even when I'm narrating, the time doesn't go so quickly. Conspiracy. So I don't have Plague Engineer, but Plague Engineer on Cat would be pretty sweet here. Gotta take my one Pyroblast, because Yorion is virtually going to be part of their hand all the time. But only one copy, so one Pyroblast. Narset was really great there. Really dug us out of that mulligan. Well, it was honestly more Cling to Dust, but Narset kept us in it for the early stages. Slow deck. On the draw. We didn't see Rashadan Port or Wasteland, but I'd be shocked if they weren't part of there. So it always feels wrong to side out Bloodstained Mire, even though I always side out a land against like Jeskai Control or Sultai Beanstalk. Okay. Meltdown is also interesting, but probably not good enough. Psychic Frog is not good against the Swords deck. And then Tameo, they probably have many Karakas. Yeah, I could buy that being a bad card. Don't need all these forces. I'll take Narset back. Thoughtseize, bad top deck. Ah, what the hell. I'll take Tameo. If I can get an early flip, like the Planeswalker half is really great. Yeah, seems fine. It's funny to have the Pyroblast in your opening hand, but that just means I'm ready for Yorion, yo. They pick Cat. Ocelot Pride. I would really like to hit that with a Bowmasters, but I don't have one currently. Yeah, this is unacceptable. I need to bolt this on site. It is crazy that now Death and Taxes has even more must bolt 1-drops for Grixis Control. It's kind of wild. Retrofitter Foundry. I should have thought of... It was such a blip last game that I forgot about it. And now I do wish I had Meltdown. Well, time to just outvalue Retrofitter Foundry, I guess. Did nobody ever in history of the world? Oh, well, don't mind that exchange. Thank you, God. I love you, God. And they probably don't know about all my basics. Okay, this will be a nice 2-for-1. Don't even have to commit Sink into Stupor yet. Hell yeah. Never gets old. 2 cards in hand. I guess, yeah, they were on the play. They've been making land drops. Oh my god. It just keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. I prefer this, honestly. Thank you, White Orchid Phantom. Because now I don't have to worry about Wasteland. Force of Will. 1 card left. You think it's a land, everyone? Opposition Agent. Okay. Well, we're going to have to set up a multi-turn line here. So Chapter 2. Then I don't want to activate Polluted Delta. But I do want Bowmasters this turn? No. I'm going to have to go off Force of Will. Does that make any sense? I don't think so. So what? I guess I do this. And not make a land drop? Ugh. This is rough. This is not good magic. Yeah, I don't... Well, maybe it's a swords, though. I might have messed up. It says flying anyways. But if they've cast, like, Mother of Runes or Ocelot Pride, I'm going to want some way to deal with it. Yeah, I'm going to hang on to these. Okay, so now I play Strix, pick up Opposition Agent. Or wait, no. Shit. How did I fuck this up? They're going to get to Chapter 3 next turn. I wasn't counting the turns correctly. There's no way I can draw a card, right? No. And not still have 3 mana. I still think it's likely good enough. If they have another Retrofitter Foundry, though, I'm going to be so pissed. Stoneforge, okay. Well, there's a reason to have Opposition Agent, I guess. But now I can't get it. Yep, this has been a complete botched turn. It's okay. If I can hardcast Force, too, that'd be a pretty good exchange. But yeah, the lack of Meltdown here might make it difficult to grind this out. Sink into Stupor might help. And if they get a Retrofitter Foundry with this, like... It's an Aether Vial. Okay, that's not so bad. No block. Okay. Well, at least I can deal with that profitably. Shieldred's Edict, not bad either. Finally put an end to this phantom. Yeah, we're weirdly okay. I mean, they might not really commit Yorion until they can Violet, which will be tough, because then that also means Caracas is more than likely to be up. Okay, I don't mind that card. Are they not going to cast Stoneforge Mystic? I know it's in their hand. Okay. Yeah, Kolaghan's command would be pretty sweet here. I ground through the Saga. Don't want that. Lightning Bolt. It's not terrible. Now they can Violin their Stoneforge. Oh. Not because I'm not a basics, but just because trading 1-for-1 on Force of Will is sweet. And I might not really get a not good opportunity to do it. It's back. Alright. Things are getting a little weird. Not budging on that Stoneforge is interesting. Not ticking up their Vial is interesting. None of it makes sense to me. Oops, why did I just click off Yorion? Okay, Yorion is in their hand. Brainstorm, I love it. Nice. Force back. And I can't cast Sync anyways. Stoneforge is a May trigger. But I will definitely appreciate stuffing it anyways. Yeah. No one ever falls for that. Someone almost did at Monday Night Paper, but then I'm not a complete insane person, so I did say, oh, you know, it is a May trigger. You don't have to do that, because they were acting like it wasn't, and it just would have felt insanely disingenuous to go through with that otherwise. Oh wait, I'm at 9? Well, I do win this race. It's a 9-turn clock versus a 7-turn clock, and I've got Bowmasters. It's kind of a thing. However, I gotta figure something out with this Aether Vial. I might need to bounce it. Bouncing Aether Vial. Does that at all make any sense? It's gonna have to. This double block is safe even if they have removal. Stoneforge Mystic only has 1 power. Okay, looking good. That Deafening Silence is still out too, so... Yeah, I'm bouncing Aether Vial. Cool. And there is Force of Will. You can cast that on Aether Vial. Even though I think 5 turns is probably too long to wait for Yorion. So I don't think I will counter Vile, actually. Or should I? If they go land Yorion, that'd be pretty rough. The card's annoying, too. Not that annoying. I guess I just have a pipe dream where I can send Bolt upstairs and end this game early. It's seeming fairly likely, actually. One per turn. Yeah. I want this game over one way or another by the time I hit 7 minutes on my clock. Sure. People don't like it when I do this. But trust me, it's good. It's never let me down before. Alright. Draw step K command is a little risky. Because they could draw a 2-drop. But I think it's good, because then I can return Bowmasters anyways. Unless they draw like Remorseful Cleric. Remorseful Cleric would be pretty bad. Okay. They probably didn't draw anything good. I hope that insane dog bark just came through. Alright. Feeling good. Well, we won another die roll. Mulligan. Alright. Will you join me, opponent? No, you won't. I will not try to leverage force with this hand. Gotta play to win, not play to not lose, you know? And it looks like we're up against lands. Kolaghan's command is not bad then. But in general, we might be in trouble. Okay. So if they get Lush Portico and Surveil land into their yard, Elvish Reclaimer will survive a lightning bolt, which is terrible. So do I just wait to see if they crack that thing? It's kind of tough. Okay. We have an emergency fail safe at least. If they don't crack. Okay. I was like, you're really not going to do it? And they did have the Lush Portico. Yeah, best case scenario here is they like make a run for Merit Lage, but they got a Saga now. And a Knight of the Reliquary. It's all tough stuff. We're very exposed to Wasteland, but we can't really afford to stumble. And this doesn't get Basic Island anyways. Yeah. Even if they wasteland, they can still make a construct, so I'm actually going to play that out. Even though things are a little dire. Ooh, not good. Strong hand for a mulligan to beat. I'm not optimistic here. Not activating the knight is pretty interesting, though. It's usually pretty free to cycle that away once it hits chapter 3. Lava Spur Boots. They're going to attack. Yeah, I guess I'm taking 5. They really don't have a land drop? Why is that so terrifying? I need to buy time, so I think it actually is correct to go after the diamond here. Like if we can just hit Snapcaster Mage or not Basic Island. Snapcaster Mage or other Edict. I'd even take Psychic Frog. Deadly curious what's in their hand. Yeah, we'll continue to try and buy some time here. No luck. Just a bunch of frickin' lands. Now I feel stupid for playing that waterlog teachings out. Could have gotten us out of this. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Sylvan Library. That's really interesting. It's not really a card you see too often. Alright, come on. This is just stupid. I protest this game. I protest this game. Were any of my draws not lands? Whatever. It's not worth dwelling on. It's nice to have Fatal Push. Meltdown. Trim 1 Force. Trim Narset. 1 Bowmasters. Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'm going to lose both Thoughtseizes. I have a hard time believing they don't have, like, a Life from the Loam. But until I see it, I guess I'm just going to chill with 1 Surgical. That was brutal. Yep. Really like having Opposition Agent here. On the play, it's quite good. And then Tamiyo Brainstorm. It's a combo. See how important it is to have opposition on 3. It's depending on what we draw or brainstorm into, for that matter. Might need to play Waterlogged Teachings, although you saw how that worked out last time. It was not good. It's quite sad. Mox Diamond. Windswept Heath down. They got a Wasteland. That's too bad. And a Reclaimer. Well, you know what you gotta do now. Land is not bad. But yeah, we'll bolt there. Get a clue token. It's good value. Ooh. Rough. Psychic Frog. Okay. It all checks out. I feel like it's pretty equivalent. If I just crack this clue token, I should be able to find land. They have Saga. So yeah, I do want Opposition Agent pretty soon. Safekeeper. Card's scary. Even though at 2 lands and no loam in sight, they might not have the lands that are too expendable. Force of Will. Would have been good a second ago. Yeah, we keep missing on land. It's unfortunate. All right. Just please don't wasteland me. I am begging you. And if you do, can I please hit a land drop? Flagstones. What are the odds they activate that before the Saga? Or somehow cash it in? Okay, we hit the land. Kind of cool. Allows me to brainstorm. I like Nimble Obstructionist too. But I was really hoping to see Meltdown. Put back 1 land and then I guess Tamiyo. I'm not really interested in the cat and mouse. This is quite fortunate. Yeah, I'm gonna have to force that. I'm gonna pitch Brainstorm. I have high hopes for this frog. Unfortunately, I can only get up planes with this. Oh wait, it's optional? Never mind. All these dang May triggers. So if they do have another swords, like they'll have to choose between making a construct and then giving me that chapter 3 or swordsing opposition agent. Something they could have done is before this went on the stack, they could have made a construct in their upkeep and then just sacrificed the saga to Safekeeper if they really didn't want the mana. What's in their hand? Dark Depths Reclaimer. Okay. I'll take the boots. Seems good. Alright, yeah, it's gonna be pretty important to have a big frog. Because I can't block this construct. Frog with haste is kind of cool too. Can I afford to not have obstructionist up for a turn? Like, is this that important? It's a lot of damage coming in. They top deck Thespian Stage. I mean, Obstructionist isn't that great at holding off Merit Lage. It'll only work for one turn. So yeah, I guess I do kind of want to get into my deck. I'll take either of those blocks. Yeah, they're not going to give it to me. Seems like the flooding is kind of following us from game 1, but I feel way more set up this time. Yeah, I don't think I can afford to attack with the frog anymore, unfortunately. Go to 9. Another reclaimer. Yep. Ponder's good. Grateful for that. Cling to Dust, okay. And Lorien revealed. One more land drop. Sure. If they come in, I have no problem um, dropping Cling to Dust and Blue to Delta. Ooh, okay. Attrition it shall be. There's a land after that I probably don't want. Maybe I can just gain a little life, though. Get a little breathing room here. Does that make any sense? I think so. Sure. Um, they're probably just looking for a cantrip, too. Although I feel like there would have been some pretty good spots for that. Bolt. Yeah, I'll keep that. If I can unlock some attacks with this frog, I'll be in pretty good shape, I think. Still doesn't really feel like I have one, though. Maybe, though. Just one more. It's an absurd amount of land. All right. In relation to how many cards we've drawn, that is. Knight of the Reliquary. Okay, so this one can attack, while this one holds down the fort, ideally. I'm glad I have something to do with all these lands, like, Jesus. Fatal Push. That's good. Even though it feels like they have expendable lands now. So maybe I should chump block Knight, since Safekeeper can make it really big. They have to like chuck all their lands to do that. Wouldn't put it past him. Maybe I can get them to commit on that right now, though. Sure. Crop rotation. Guess I could have guessed that was stuck in their hand. Makes sense. Perfect draw. Feel good about that. So I got to be ready with a stifle on Sajiri's step as well. If that happens somehow. K command. It's a 9/9, so it's a chump no matter what it seems. Oh, I wish I had some Bowmasters. 9/9. How did this happen? Well, if it's a chump no matter what. Green Sun for 1. Sure. Don't have reach. Okay, it's Reclaimer. I think we can put lethal together here. So, Nimble Obstructionist. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The rest of my cards in my hand. Yeah. Well, hold on. I think it's more mana efficient to do it this way. Then I don't have to equip the Nimble Obstructionist. All right. That one got a little crazy. So they have a lot of big scary creatures, it turns out. Definitely more of like a green-white depths than a lands deck. It's not like sphere lands or anything. So yeah, we definitely need Psychic Frog. And Surgical Extraction can be kind of nice, but I feel like, I think I've said this before, we want them to play the combo half. It's easier for us to beat the combo half than their big creature half. Is that really true, though? Yeah, because even if I go tall with Psychic Frog, they can invalidate all of that with a Source to Plowshares. 1 second. It does feel like perhaps I've been playing a little aggressively. Like, I didn't need to make all those attacks. I could have just sat back and squatted up, but I feel like it was kind of difficult to beat. I don't know, like Frog with cards in hand versus Knight of the Reliquary with Sylvan Safekeeper. It's a weird matchup. It's a tough matchup. Um, yeah, I don't want the Surgical. I'll take another Force. And yeah, I think Tameo is bad. They have Caracas that they can easily tutor. They have Veil of Summer as well. Alright, I'll take 1 Surgical. If I can rip the combo out, I guess. Give me some breathing room. It's a little precarious, but I like the combination of Force and cantrips. Just let me sculpt my game plan. Especially when they're going to mulligan on the play. We gotta push this resource advantage. Yeah, they're down to 5. We might be able to force kind of liberally here. Yeah, I'm fine forcing that. 3 cards over there. If they want to wasteland me, feels like it's not without serious drawbacks. Yikes, come on. Don't do this to me, Bennett. Don't make me flood all 3 games. I fought so hard. Yeah, this is the kind of game we're playing, I guess. Nice. They don't have a play. Oh. Meltdown. Well, if they ever transition to like Saga, we have that pretty well wrapped here. Endurance. Well, it's going to do a lot of work on us. It's a shame I never got to cast any of those cantrips because they presented banger after banger. I had no idea K-Command was coming down the pipe, but I guess it probably could have dealt with that Reclaimer. Well, we'll see if our top decks deliver. Nice, okay. Ponder. Okay. Got Merit Lage Answer. Psychic Frog's pretty good. I got one card in hand. I mean, even if it is... I can't cast Sync this turn, so... Because there's no real point in picking it up right now. Is the Life Bowmaster's Save Me through a chump block going to be that relevant? It might be. Also, I don't have double blue for Sync in the first place, so... Yeah, maybe just go like this. They have crop rotation. Oh god. Yeah, I think they got us. Hate to say it. Because yeah, I don't have double blue for Sync. I can block with Frog for one turn. Damn. I feel like this draw should have been so easy to beat. If I just had a Merit Lage Answer I could cast. Oh, I'm heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. And yeah, I know what I'm going to draw. Might as well just concede. They're not going to not attack. Man. Such a bummer. Oh, man. All right. Got a weird hand here, but I think it's certainly worth keeping. Gotta try and shake off that last round. Felt so in the pocket when I saw the mull to 5 and I had 2 forces. And if I kept that polluted delta on top of my deck, I would have had double blue. But I already had so many lands. I don't know. Did not seem like a good line to me. Sure. Sometimes if someone sees a hand like this, they might try to like mana screw you and take Lorien Revealed. I think that is a trap. This deck runs a lot of lands, as you saw in the last round. Now taking a bolt, that's truly strange. Could be like an aggro deck, I guess. Guess I'll play around Opposition Agent as well. And I'm playing around Wasteland too. Although if they're taking Lightning Bolt, like... Okay, and they're cycling Troll of Khazad-dûm. Knew about that edict. Sure. I mean, I guess I'll edict. If they want to reanimate again, I guess then I'll have to really find some red mana, try and close the game out. But like I have Petty Theft as well. Sure. They're taking Force now. Guess that makes sense. Want to push through to the end. Play the Strix. Hopefully hit a land. No, but I hit Force. So maybe I'll hit a land next turn. All the while dealing some damage. It's kind of cool. I think I'm just racing this so effectively, right? Guess in a nightmare scenario I can Petty Theft, but there it is. They have 2 mana. I guess Grief would crack this open. But I think they would have griefed by now. And it seems like they probably drew that Verdant Catacombs for turn. Okay. Got some stuff over there. Flashing this beater. Shieldred's Edict. Okay. Guess I could control the board, but I only have a Scalding Tarn in exile. And if they activate Verdant Catacombs, I can just bolt them, so... Feels like our spot is pretty darn good right now. Huge influx of mana. Dauthi Voidwalker, sure. It's a lot of those. This came down like a lot earlier. We would have been in pretty rough shape. Yeah. I feel like they know about both bolts still. Yeah, I can't think of a single card they could have here. Um, yeah, I don't know if I want Vexing Bauble. Fatal Push seems good. Seems like a very aggressive black deck. There was a time when Black Stompy was on Saga. Am I remembering that correctly? But yeah, I think this is fine. Just like want cards that do stuff. Thoughtseize is a bad top deck. Wish I had From the Catacombs, but yeah, the meta feels like it's shifted quite a bit. Not even playing any like 4-drop ringers right now. Kind of relying on Psychic Frog to be our late game engine. This hand is good. It's got a Force of Will. It's got Edict. It's got Cling to Dust. This feels like grief. Probably deciding which to pitch. Yep. And they're pitching Orcish Bowmasters, which seems like they must have had a pretty tough choice then, because that card is good in this matchup. Taking Force, that's not surprising. So that probably means they have a Reanimate to go with their grief. Yep. So what, do they take Brainstorm here or Edict? Edict. That makes sense. I don't really mind losing the 2-mana 1-for-1 though. Psychic Frog. Alright. I want to Brainstorm in response to another discard spell then. Hide that on top. The other reason why they might have exiled that is because they have multiple Bowmasters. Okay, it's Voidwalker. Shoot. It's quite the clock they've assembled. I don't think we'll be able to keep up. I'm not going to have the ability to make 2 frogs big. So yeah, I think I might just need to beat this grief in combat this turn with Bowmasters. That comes with risks as well though. So yeah, let's just play the Psychic Frog out. I think that's probably the best line here. Okay, they choose to attack. If their last card's Bowmasters, we can cast Bowmasters in response. Badlands. Okay. Well, let's see what we draw first. Bloodstained Mire. Okay, let's cast Ponder. More Bowmasters. So yeah, I guess I could double Bowmaster the Voidwalker next turn. And if that fails, Waterlog Teachings. wish I had a force. Maybe they got a Raucous Theater. Binning a Dark Ritual. Okay. Well, at least they didn't find the nuts on top. This line is not without risks. If their last card's Reanimate, I think that swings the race, though. For me. Oh, is Animate dead? That is a little sketch. Alright, here's the plan. They have to draw nothing. I swing for 4 with Frog. Go to 2. It's like, even if I was able to put a creature in the graveyard somehow, doesn't change anything. I think there's another land on top of my deck. Oh, that's right, it's Waterlogged Teachings. Okay, yeah, so draw step plus Waterlogged Teachings, that's 6 power on the Frog. Plus ping, and both of them attacking. I feel like they wouldn't attack if they also didn't have a plan. Or wait, they don't know it's in my hand. For all they know, they're just racing. Yeah, I think we got it. Unless there's like a black or white Dryad Arbor that came out in the set and I didn't hear about it. All right. This league has been a huge success. I feel like we're just like crushing, and I just kind of slipped. I slipped and I fell. But let's hit that last round, finish strong. All right, we're here in the final round against the master of blue-black combo, Joel. And against Joel decks, having a Force of Will is really good. And also having a Tamiyo, like a proactive threat on turn 1, is quite good. Because he'll often sacrifice interaction to be able to win in some pretty amazing ways. Oh yeah. Limdul's Vault is often a feature of Joel decks. And that card is very good. Underrated, I'd say. And I think if this channel has taught um, the world anything, it's that cards that sometimes that aren't like in the regular vocabulary of Legacy players, like Nimble Obstructionist, for example, can still put up good results. And if there's a card that you feel is powerful and you're getting good results with, I would not shy away from it just because it's not featured in many decks. Sometimes cards are just bad though, and you'll know it when you come across them. There's some bad cards out there. Sapphire Medallion. I find it's not often worth fighting over this part of the equation. I don't really fight mana, similar to how I never really fight over Carpet of Flowers. I fight cards. Activate Clue Token. Wow. Well, I feel kind of rolled up. Nice to deal some damage. So Strix would be my second card. I'm open to it. If I draw a cantrip, I don't, but there would have been consideration to play out Badlands and leave up blue so then I could flip Tameo, but honestly, I kind of like the token generation. If we're gonna like kind of each set up and ramp up, I like my position more than a Sapphire Medallion. But that also means like you could just like lose out of nowhere. Cloud of Fairies. This all seems rather like a high tide deck. And I hope I didn't make a mistake by letting that resolve. But usually you want to stop the chain when it gets a little more intense, like if they cast High Tide or Turnabout. So if they untap, they would be able to cast Mind's Desire. But unless they flip another Mind's Desire, which did happen on the channel recently, I might add, but that means it'll never happen again, right? It was only a Mind's Desire for like 3, and they flipped like, yeah, Mind's Desire and like Force of Will. It was like pretty crazy. It was a butt nutty. Snap. Okay, this is a lot of mana, isn't it? They have 3 cards left in hand. I think I counter the next fairy they cast, right? But if they go for the Mind's Desire now, we could be in trouble. But it's only for 4. Yeah, even if I countered this, like they could still cast Mind's Desire. I feel like I've made a mistake at some point. I feel like I should have never let it get to this point. It's got to be building up to something, right? I'm pretty sure it's Mind's Desire. It's definitely going to be embarrassing when I lose with 3 Force of Wills in my hand. I'm not playing for a trophy. I'm here to learn. I've never seen this version of High Tide before, if it is indeed High Tide. I Activating Scalding Tarn. I would give them 7 mana. So they could cast an 8-drop. Is that like Forging the Anchor? Or what's it called? Like Enter the Multiverse? There's like a Brothers War massive enchantment that had Omniscience vibes. Wonder if they're going to cast Omniscience. That seems like... That card costs like 10, right? I should know that. Yep, I had a feeling. Alright, let's see what happens here. Spellseeker, strong. Lorien Revealed, strong. Okay, that's more what I was expecting. Yeah. And Force of Will. Ooh. Yeah, I fucked up. Fucked up big time. I made a mistake. But now this is like not what we're gonna fight over. But if they Spellseeker for Flusterstorm, like they can just kind of like probably go off from there, right? I mean, those are their free spells. Like to get an actual win con going, they will have to spend mana. But it's like I don't even have one of my forces. Yeah, do I counter that? If they don't counter back, oh no, I've made a huge mistake. Yeah, I've fucked up. But maybe they won't be able to get off the ground. I don't know. Echoing Truth. So they get 2 fairies back. So they get to like storm again. Is there any point in forcing when I know they have 1? It's not now, then when, you know? Yeah. Alright. Now we just gotta hope they fizzle. Which does not seem likely. What does this get? I feel like High Tide doesn't work. I guess they can set up for next turn, but seems like a waste of a mighty good storm. Snap. So they gotta rebuild their mana. I mean, if they can get back up to 5 mana from this, I'll be like pretty impressed. High Tide doesn't do it. Wow. Yeah, that could have been a lot worse. All right. I guess I'll carry on. I feel like I really used my forces for nothing. Cast Brainstorm. Thoughtseize, that's what we're in the market for sure. Put back Edict and Badlands. Plus, blank the squad. Play a land. Cast Thoughtseize. Take Lorien Revealed. It's closer to being cast, and yeah, they could cast it next turn. At least Time Spiral will give me a new hand too. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Card's good. Cloud of Fairies number 3. It's possible I might need to bolt Jace and then regrow it with Tamiyo and bolt again. I'll activate a clue. Oh, they probably did not mean to do that. It's true. The other side has been oft ignored. I think I take the block on the Cloud of Fairies, right? Okay, a little bit less stuff to deal with. I was like reasoning out in my head whether or not they would maybe take a block or not. And now I wish I had that Edict. It's funny how that works out. It's just a land. Yeah, Jace seems like a pretty important win con over there. Maybe I just need this stuff though, right? They'd be able to attack Tamiyo off the board. I don't have any interaction really if I just do that. I'll just be banking on them. Well, I mean, if they cast Time Spiral, they could wheel me into some good stuff. I mean, yeah, I'll keep 2 Ponders. But everything feels so tenuous. What if I got Thoughtseize back, though? I'm gonna stick to the plan. Then let's see, I can crack my Clue token. That's probably more efficient than casting this Ponder. Brainstorm's good. But yeah, I think I can attack my Tamiyo off the field this turn. It's possible I should have valued my Tamiyo higher than their Jace, but I don't know, it didn't seem right. It's all the Cloud of Fairies accounted for. Ponder's good. And a shuffle. Okay, they hit their land drop. They can cast Time Spiral next turn. So I better hope to come up with like a Narset. Bowmasters, they can probably still win because they're at 19. Don't think Bowmasters will really do anything. Oh, they don't attack. That's interesting. Maybe they need all these creatures for some reason. That actually worries me quite a bit. Plus Tameo. Ponder. Ooh, Thoughtseize. That's pretty darn good. Ugh, feels like I'm really getting away with something here. What if you just always found the cards you needed? Can't even talk. What if you just found the cards you needed? Put a Ponder in my hand. And then probably cast Waterlogged Teachings next turn. Just keep making land drops too. I mean, why not? I mean, they could just top deck Time Spiral. Seems like they're planning something. If I had to guess, they probably have a land in their hand. So they could bait me into getting my Thoughtseize back and then losing Tameo for nothing. I don't have anything like a Flusterstorm in the main board. That's something I've thought about with Waterlogged Teachings though. Like, would it be cool to have like a nice package like that? I don't think so because 4 mana is so expensive. I think I'll survive next turn. I'm gonna plus. Gotta figure out some way to win this game though. Drawing half my library might do it. Yeah, I think that's what was in their hand. And I'm pretty sure this will be a Time Spiral. Or not. Well, not sure what to make of that. This card's expensive. Should cast it while I can. Maybe my favorite new card. Yeah, just gotta be Force of Will, right? Just gotta be. So it's pretty tempting to get some guaranteed Tameo value here. -3, pick up a Force of Will. So I know I'm just not gonna like lose out of nowhere. Or, hell yeah, Joel. It's such a good card. I love Waterlogged Teachings. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try an ult. I suppose I should ponder. Yeah. I think it's more likely I'll need Bowmasters than Nimble Obstructionist, but if I really need that card, I can brainstorm and grab it. Mine's Desire for 1. I get a Sapphire Medallion. So now Mind's Desire costs 3. It's pretty scary. That dog is so funny. Cast Bowmasters. Oh, everyone. There might be a Joel deck on the horizon with Necro in it. That'd be cool. Necro Dominance is one of those cards that just seems like so busted. And I don't know if there's any way to make it like fair. I think Necro will stay in the format. I think like the decks running Necro don't really have the consistency to really ruin the format, you know? Alright. Let's activate Tamiyo. Let's get the biggest hand imaginable. Cast Narset. Cast Frog. Yeah. I think we're in good shape here. I feel like they almost cast a Time Spiral. Mind's Desire. Resolves. For Brain Freeze. Uh-oh. Am I going to get milled out? Better end this game quickly. All I need to do is clear the way, though, and get Psychic Frog in to hit for a lot. Bowmasters. Then I'll Edict. It's amazing what you can do with a lot of cards. Tamiyo does like set up a nice win con with or this is better. With Psychic Frog. So let's see what we got. This needs what? 10 power? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It needs a little more. There we go. If I miscounted, then... Oh, I did miscount. Jesus. 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. I don't know. All right, we did it. It's a nice pair. Because, yeah, you know, it's always... I feel like it's been easier to end games after the release of Orcish Bowmasters, but it's always nice to have a little extra help. Okay, Vexing Bauble. Great against Mind's Desire. Red Blast, good against the entire deck. Surgical Extraction. We still didn't see like High Tide. Are they not playing High Tide? Is it just like Sapphire Medallion? And using fairies? Does that make Fatal Push pretty good? Probably not. Remove the Edicts as well. Strix, not really for the matchup. Flusterstorm is good. Cling to Dust, also not impactful. Yeah, we can probably cut both Strixes, I think. And then, what? A Lightning Bolt? Kolaghan's Command is also a little clunky. Yeah, I'd rather have another blue card, I think. Just make sure we're leveraging that to our full potential. I'll keep. Doesn't look like a keep on the surface, but then you remember that Brainstorm is looking at 5 forces and a Flusterstorm and Red Blasts, and it starts sounding a little better. Yeah, I think I'll take those odds. And if we flood, I guess we'll just dump it all in Psychic Frog. Oh, nice. Worth noting, though, that they've shown us bounce effects like Snap, which can make going tall on a Psychic Frog rather poor. And we had such a nice time chatting this game that, or this match, that his clock is a little low. I mean, we're both just having fun. We're in the X1 bracket. Actually, I don't know what Joe's record is. Sometimes I feel like the pairing in this is just chaos. Yeah, 3 is kind of a magic number for High Tide, because that's when they can cast High Tide, Turnabout, Mind's Desire, Time Spiral, and just like go nuts. So tapping out for Psychic Frog on the draw is actually not safe. However, they are just passing. I probably could have brainstormed there. I'll cast Psychic Frog. Hold up Red Blast. Cycling Cloud of Fairies, sure. Strong card. Urza's block was like the OG busted block, I think. At least, I mean, I wasn't playing when it first came out. I started playing around Odyssey. And playing is a very liberal term. Like, my cousin introduced me to the game around Odyssey's release. And I'm pretty sure I continued to play wrong until about 5 years ago. um, but I remember just like people whispering about this Urza's Saga block or the Urza's block when I first started playing the game, and how powerful the cards were from that set, and that ever since there's been a lessened power level. Okay, this hand is like freaking unbeatable. It's a lot of Flusterstorms. So what do I do? Just try and collapse the engine? Or do I take the payoff? Yeah, the payoff is like the most unique part of the hand, so I guess I'll take that. Let's see if there's anything on the horizon I'd rather discard. Yeah, these Force of Wills, they just don't mean much. I mean, I guess if they only had the mana to fluster me once. But even then, like, Pyroblast is better. I will discard this Strix. In service of having a better clock. Because that hand will go off and will protect its combo when the time comes. Triple Flusterstorm. Insane. And they're hitting the land drops, so that is some shit. Cycling Cloud of Fairies. Maybe I should have had Bowmasters in hand for that, because I don't know if they can go off from 2 mana. Alright, so I have 2 Red Blasts and a Force. And a lightning bolt now. That's what I was hoping for. If Cloud of Fairies is part of the engine for comboing. Yeah, they're all ready to go. They've got their mana. They've got plenty of protection. And they've sufficiently thinned the deck. I should probably Pyroblast that, right? Or maybe I can just go for lethal. Yeah, let's do that. This lightning bolt should help out. That dog is the funniest bark. Okay. This should do it. And I probably don't even have to invest into the frog all that much either. If at all. Yeah. I probably didn't even need to bolt. That was probably a spew. Probably could have still held up another red blast. GG's, Joel. This looks like a really fun deck, and really excited to see your classic blue-black combo. Alright, so check it out. We were just dominating. And the games were pretty cool too. Yeah, we fought blue-black tempo. We fought Death and Taxes with the Orion, green-white depths, mono-black scam, and high tide. So yeah, didn't get to see Nadu. I'm still trying to showcase that matchup because those games are really cool. Yeah. It's sad to think that I'm not going to be playing like a 4-drop bomb, but it does not seem like the meta is very kind to planeswalkers right now. And even creatures, less so. Like Shieldred or Caves of Chaos Adventure, just kind of, they just feel like fragile bombs. And I think right now the format is all about trading efficiency, or the most efficient way you can trade cards, the better. And Psychic Frog does a lot to facilitate that, because if you're flooding, you can turn that into power on board. And Legacy has kind of always been a format where it doesn't take a lot to have like a big creature. The power of the balance of onboard power is always very fragile. So Psychic Frog even getting to be like a 4/5 is usually colossal. But yeah, I think I still want to stick with 4 Bowmasters. I think it's crazy that some of the tempo decks have replaced Bowmasters with Frog. I think Bowmasters is still a stronger card, honestly. Yeah, man, this match. Uh, I'll have to reevaluate that. It's very possible I messed up. Maybe I wasn't supposed to force the library. Maybe I wasn't supposed to force the reclaimer. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, thanks for sticking with me. I think this was a pretty fun one. And yeah, I'll see you next time.